It's 3 a.m., and you're wide awake, staring at the ceiling. Your mind is racing with thoughts about work, projects, family issues, and health concerns. Your chest feels tight, and your stomach is in knots. Does this sound familiar? We've all been there. But what if I told you there's a way to find peace even when life feels overwhelming? In this video, I'll break down precisely how you can entrust your worries to Allah and clear your mind. If you're tired of losing sleep, feeling overwhelmed, or letting worry dominate your life, make sure to keep watching. By the end of this video, you'll have the tools to change your mindset and find the peace you've been searching for. Point number 1. Trust beyond fear. What does taul mean? Simply put, it means placing your complete trust in Allah. It's understanding that regardless of what happens, Allah is with you. It's about genuinely surrendering to Allah's plan, whether it's good or bad. Why is this so important? Without taul, we're merely stumbling around in the dark, mistakenly believing we are in control when we are not. The Quran tells us, "And upon Allah, let the believers rely." It's not a suggestion, it's a directive. The Quran also states, "And whoever relies upon Allah, then he is sufficient for him." The Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, said that if you trust Allah properly, he will provide for you just as he provides for the birds. They leave in the morning with empty stomachs and return in the evening with full ones. Think about that for a moment. Birds don't stress about their next meal. They simply trust it will be there. That's the level of reliance Allah wants us to have. Taul isn't about expecting miracles while doing nothing. It's about doing your part and then letting go, trusting Allah with the outcome. It's a balance, and we'll discuss that further later. Point number 2. The trap of overthinking. Ahmed had just completed a job interview. As he left, his mind was filled with doubts. Did I answer well enough? What if they chose someone else? At dinner, Ahmed's family noticed his distracted state. His father advised him, "You did your best. Trust in Allah's plan." Ahmed followed his father's advice, focusing on family time that evening. The next morning, he received an email inviting him for a second interview. He smiled, realizing that worrying had changed nothing. Overthinking undermines our faith and affects our health. Consider this. When we're stressed about every little thing that could go wrong, what are we really saying? Essentially, we're telling Allah that we lack trust. It might sound harsh, but it's true. Overthinking means we're not relying on Allah. Instead, we're relying on our flawed, limited thinking, believing that worrying will control everything. This constant stress also impacts our health. Headaches, high blood pressure, trouble sleeping, and constant low feelings are all effects of overthinking. How often have you worried yourself sick over something that never even happened? The good news is, we don't have to live like this. Our Deen offers us a way out. It begins with realizing that all this worrying doesn't help us. It doesn't make us more prepared. It merely robs us of our peace and trust in Allah. So next time your mind starts spinning, take a deep breath and remember who is truly in control. Point number 3. Practical steps to entrust your worries to Allah. Imagine being able to hand over your heaviest burdens to someone infinitely stronger than you. That's what entrusting your worries to Allah is all about. Let's discuss how to practically incorporate this into your life. With consistent effort, you can develop a powerful habit of relying on Allah. Start by strengthening your faith through knowledge. The more you understand Allah's names, attributes, and the wisdom behind His commands, the easier it becomes to trust Him. Dedicate time to studying the Quran, learning about the Prophet's life, and gaining insights from reliable Islamic sources. This knowledge will guard you against doubt and worry. Next, ensure you maintain regular prayers and make dua. Beyond the obligatory prayers, make it a habit to turn to Allah throughout your day. When worries arise, channel them into dua. The Prophet, peace be upon him, said, "Dua is the weapon of the believer." Use this weapon freely. Be honest and open with Allah about your fears and concerns, knowing He is all-hearing and all-responding. Lastly, practice gratitude consistently. During stressful times, it's easy to lose sight of our blessings. Combat this by actively acknowledging Allah's favors in your life. Start each day by thanking Him for 3 specific things. This simple practice will shift your perspective, helping you focus on the blessings in your life rather than potential problems. Remember, entrusting your worries to Allah is a skill that improves with practice. It may be challenging at first, but over time, you'll find yourself naturally turning to Allah in times of difficulty. Point number 4. Balancing taul with action ***. Let's clarify a major misconception about taul. Some people think that trusting in Allah means sitting back and waiting for miracles to happen. They might say, I'm not going to look for a doctor. I just have taul that Allah will provide. That's not how it works. True taul involves balancing reliance on Allah with taking action. It's about doing your part while understanding that the ultimate outcome is in Allah's hands. This concept isn't new. It's exactly how our Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, lived his life. For instance, during the Battle of Uhud, he didn't just make dua and expect victory. He strategized, prepared the army, and actively participated in the battle, all while fully trusting that the outcome was in Allah's control. That's taul in action. Similarly, the Prophet worked as a shepherd and a merchant, sought medical treatment when ill, and took precautions for his safety, all while maintaining complete trust in Allah's plan. Do your best in this world while keeping your heart attached to Allah. It's about using the means Allah has provided and then trusting Him with the results. So, next time you face a challenge, ask yourself, what would the Prophet, peace be upon him, do? Chances are, he would take action and put his trust in Allah. That's the balance we should all strive for. Do your part, then leave the rest to Allah. Point number 5. Freeing your mind through submission. Imagine a life where setbacks don't upset you, and success doesn't make you arrogant. That's the freedom that comes from true submission to Allah. When your primary goal shifts from achieving worldly outcomes to simply pleasing Allah, everything changes. Suddenly, that promotion you didn't get, or the opportunity you missed, doesn't seem so significant. Why? Because you know that if it was truly best for you, Allah would have decreed it. This doesn't mean you won't feel disappointment or sadness. You're human, after all. But it means these feelings won't consume you. Instead, you find yourself asking, what can I learn from this? How can I use this situation to draw closer to Allah? On the other hand, when things go well, you're not overwhelmed with pride or arrogance. You recognize that your success is a blessing from Allah, not solely the result of your own efforts. This keeps you humble and grateful. The beauty of this mindset is that it frees you from the exhausting cycle of worldly highs and lows. Your contentment comes from knowing you're aiming to please Allah, not from external validations or achievements. This is the exact message of what Allah tells us in the Quran. Unquestionably, by the remembrance of Allah, hearts are assured. When your goal is Allah's pleasure above all else, you find a peace that nothing in this world can disturb. Point number 6. Dealing with recurring worries. Let's face it, even when we're trying our best to trust in Allah, worries keep coming back. One effective technique for redirecting these thoughts is what I call the catch and replace method. When you catch yourself worrying, immediately replace that thought with a dua or a short prayer. It could be as simple as saying, Allah is sufficient for us, and He is the best disposer of affairs. Another effective strategy is to challenge these worries head-on. Ask yourself, is this worry helping me in any way? Is it changing the outcome? Most of the time, the answer is no. Then remind yourself that Allah is in control and His plan is perfect. This rational approach, combined with faith, can help put things in perspective. Now, here's the important part: patience and consistency. Don't expect to banish all worries overnight. It takes time to rewire your brain from worrying to trusting in Allah. There will be days when it feels like you're back at square one, and that's normal. The key is to keep at it, day after day, worry after worry. Each time you redirect a worry to Allah, you're strengthening your faith. So next time a worry pops up, you know what to do. Catch it, replace it, challenge it if needed, and keep doing it consistently. With patience and practice, you'll find that those worries have less power over you, and your trust in Allah grows stronger each day. Point number 7. Building a worry-free lifestyle. We've been discussing how to protect ourselves from worry attacks, but what if we could build a lifestyle so resilient that worries barely make a dent? First, consider your circle. You are the average of the 5 people you spend the most time with. Surround yourself with those who uplift you and remind you of Allah when you forget. Seek friends who respond to difficulties with Alhamdulillah and Inshallah, rather than panic and complaints. Their positive attitude will influence you more than you realize. But don't rely solely on others. Create an environment that constantly reminds you of Allah's presence and power. Put up verses around your home, set Islamic reminders on your phone, listen to the Quran or beneficial Islamic lectures during your free time. Start your morning with the dua for waking up, thanking Allah for another day of life. Take a few minutes to read and reflect on a verse from the Quran. Remember, building a worry-free lifestyle is a process. It's about consistently choosing trust over worry, gratitude over complaint, and action over paralysis. It's about creating a life where taul isn't just a concept but a living, breathing reality that shapes your daily life. So, start today. Choose one habit to implement, one change to make in your environment. Over time, you'll find that your faith becomes so strong that worries will start to bounce off it. That's the power of building a lifestyle centered on trust in Allah. I challenge you to take what you've learned today and put it into action. Embrace this mindset of true reliance on Allah, and you'll discover a strength within yourself you never knew existed. By the way, if you're interested in growing a halal faceless automated YouTube channel, I'm currently working on an ebook. This ebook reveals the secrets I used to grow my channel to over 100,000 subscribers in just 3 to 4 months. If you want to be among the first to know when the ebook is released, join my email newsletter. The link is in the description. If you made it to the end, comment, "We are brave." And don't forget to like and subscribe.